Sideline of goal. Late winner's doing it. They're gonna take. He's gonna bring down Bernie. Almost with a double kill. Dropping fast. Monopoint's there. He's still alive. Wait, second slide. He's got one side. He's got a second. He's taking it. Oh my God! On three. They're all dead.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back. It's the Summit 2 by G2A.com. We are in the last and final day of the C Division. We're going to find out which team, the first team of all regions, has fought their way into the Summit House. It's going to be exciting.
They got to qualify. They got to do it the hard way, and shortly after that, we get to see Europe. So by the time today's done, we'll know half the teams here at the Summit Land Finals. We go from 1 to 3.
We're getting down to the wire, man. America being the last team, we just saw the Navi US make it into the playoffs, and then they'll eventually fight their way through. But it's happening, man. Soon enough, this house is going to be overcrowded. Hopefully not smelly.
Yeah, I was looking at the guest list. We might have to make some cuts. Not sure who's gonna make the list.
We'll be looking for an Old Spice sponsorship in the near future, I would imagine. But big stakes here. It's going to be Team Malaysia taking on First Departure in the lower bracket final. Winning team is going to be moving on to the grand final, I guess, to go against Invasion.
Yeah, that's right. And, well, sorry guys, draft is well underway. We would like to be showing it to you, but Dota 2 has decided to just take a big shit, just a gigantic shit all over our cast. So,
yeah.
We may have to resort to Dota TV or a quick remake here, but
and of all things, on mine. Yours, it's beautiful. We can even see the draft right here.
Should we do the
if you want to... You just unplugged the monitor, and now it's
really
dead.
No,
it's back in. Here we go.
It's good.
Hold on, everyone. The real picture-in-picture quality we're going to feature. It's not in sight yet. Nope. Now it's unplugged.
It's lost.
Now it's off. This is becoming more of a hassle. There it is. You can see the first picks right there starting on your screen.
There we go. That's
First Departure at the top. They
there
went.
We go, man.
They took their first pick. It's going to be Faceless Void, and LD. Would you believe it? There's a Skywrath Mage to pair it up with, and to just get even more magical sweet damage on top of Ancient Seal, Elder Titan with Natural Order.
Yeah,
Boom.
so I want to point out that some people were wrong side. Yeah, some people were wondering if they'd continue with their bans for this Riki Huskar. Mushi, he won't go with the new formula here. He's happy with the Riki Huskar fans. He's going to continue in that vein. They do go heavy team fight here. The interesting thing for me is that First Departure are the ones to ban out their own Naga in the first phase. That was
that's
not expected.
No, that's
really not a Team Malaysia hero.
The hero that Miracle has pioneered into this new fruition style of Rat, Radiance, Ridiculousness. The three R's.
Is he trying to next level Mushi? So he's like, okay, you can ban random heroes, but I'm gonna ban my own heroes, and then you're gonna be like, what the fuck, dude?
And then they'll make their way to the finals, and they're gonna do no bans. They're just gonna let the bans go, and they'll be like, we'll win that way. Yeah.
The problem with that is then you lose all your bonus time. So if you actually want to have a chance to react to their picks, no bueno.
No bueno. All right, well, let's see if I could try to gander here. On the bottom, the draft, that's Team Malaysia by the mind. And it looks like they started out, they're going to get a hold of the Death Prophet and Brew, two very big prominent mid laners, and very good grabs that teams would just ooze to get the hold of the first pick with. And then Witch Doctor and the Watermelon Man Tidehunter. So they got some top-tier grabs for right now. They don't have the benefit of the Chronosphere with that Witch Doctor Death Ward, but he still offers great sustain with some pushing power with that Nature's Prophet. Right over there.
Is that a Nature's Prophet?
Oh, no, sorry. Death Prophet. The other Prophet sister. That one.
What is that one that just got picked? Is that a Necrolite?
You mean a ban? Oh, this?
Yeah, what is that?
Ew, what is that? Is that Shadow Fiend?
I gotta get in here.
I think that's
That's
Shadow?
a Necrophos.
That is a Necrophos. Okay.
This monitor looks a little dark.
I can't believe we're doing. I'm gonna restart.
We're gonna
my
do
Dota,
it. We're gonna
way.
have the players remake if Coddle can't get back in.
Yeah, I'm gonna restart my.
We'll let
client.
them get through the draft first.
By the way, this is just absolutely fantastical. So, all right. What they're lacking now on the side of Team Malaysia is getting a secondary support. I can't tell from here. Ancient Apparition seems to be still in the pool, which works very nicely as a counter to someone like Necro, who is, pretty reliant on his sustainability.
Also, yeah, it could be a good hero for First Departure here. Although they already have their supports most likely. Elder Titan, I'm actually not sure how they're going to run it. Generally, we've seen this hero as a support lately. We have seen in the past he was primarily first he was the Bulba solo mid, but they nerfed Astral Spirit, so that became less viable. Then we saw the Elder Titan off late a lot, but I'm actually not sure how First Departure will look to run this. They have a little flex, but I don't know if they want to run that as a support. That's pretty damn greedy, and you're back in the game, man.
Oh
Let's see
my
if it
goodness!
stays
Here,
that
let
way.
me go ahead and jump in.
Hashtag production
Hopefully,
value.
it was. At one point I was in this game and good to go, and then it just kind of booted me out for no reason. We'll just hope that that's not the case, and the curse is very much dead as you turn your monitor back towards yourself in a good position. Thank you for.
Quick thinking under pressure.
Yeah, quick thinking. Letting us borrow your monitor for that. I actually did a little bit of extra justice there. So now we're getting to the back end of this draft. We can actually see exactly. And look at that. Look, they did ban the Ancient Apparition there as the last ban for First Departure, but they're going to go with the Silencer as what looks like their secondary support. You know, that can definitely be a bit of a hindrance towards being able to have a great initiation from your Faceless Void with a Mystic Flare follow-up. I don't mind a Silencer grab whatsoever.
Yeah, very nice to interrupt the Chrono combo. So you Chrono, then you'd love to Mystic Flare Necro ult, but Silencer can completely break that chain of initiation. They sleep with Elder Titan maybe, Void wants to walk in Chrono, and Silencer can be the answer there as well. So, only issue is that this team needs a lot of levels in farm. Ideally, I guess this game Witch Doctor will be your 4 position. He'll be looking for the early Ags, and you're not getting Silencer and Witch Doctor both farmed. If you are, you've already won the game anyway. So
yeah, absolutely.
One of them's going to suffer a bit,
Yeah.
but
one's got to be the ward bitch. I mean, let's just put it out there. You got to be it. And someone's just got to be the guy who collects all the towels that are all sweaty from the rest of the players, and you put it back in the laundry.
put them in the hot steamer. You know, clean
that,
those
that
up.
hard position 7, 8, whatever it's got to be. But Silencer seems to be the one. I think an Agnum's on the Witch Doctor sooner than later becomes very good. It just kind of really crumbles against someone like Faceless Void. That adds pressure already. With just having Witch Doctor in the game, you know, he's going to have to get a BKB at some point. Or no, well...
Also, by the way, do we have audio in Dota TV?
Oh, I didn't check
the
it
good
before.
people were throwing a bit of a fit.
No, we should be. I mean, I'm seeing open mic enabled. I'm
guys,
seeing the meter move.
For anyone who doesn't hear us in Dota TV, try changing your channels. So change to... I'm not actually sure who's in the lobby. Starlighter's not in here. Maybe the Chinese cast, then come back to ours, try reconnecting.
Yeah.
And if all else fails, then we'll try and toggle on our end. But it should be okay. It says it's transmitting. So I do want to mention for Malaysia, they have a stand-in here. We didn't really get to talk much about their lineup because of all the tech issues, but they have Kenshi. He was the Mineski manager, not involved with the match fixing for those who are.
Yep.
And he was extremely upset about it when it came out. He's been involved with the Mineski organization for a long time, and obviously it was really just upsetting for them as a team to have their brand damaged like that. But he will be standing in here. He's a longtime friend of Mushi's. He's part of how Mushi's been very involved with Filipino Dodo and in particular with Mineski. So they're good friends, and I have no idea how good he is, but I am interested to see if he can step up to the plate. But in theory, that could be an issue for Malaysia. Another stand-in. In good news, it means KYXY will be on a core roll, and I gotta say, to be totally honest with you, Cuddle Guy, I was not feeling the KYXY support. He played fine, but
really,
this guy is
just support.
This guy is just he was because they no longer have Extinct, so they were trying to role swap. But I gotta say, I just think this guy's born to play a carry role.
Yeah, I hadn't had the opportunity to cast much of the C scene since they made that big roster change. So hearing them do a bit of a role swap and. Yeah, I mean, he's always been very significant presence in that off lane, in that kind of core position, so I imagine they're going to revert back to that when possible, and Kenshi's going to be that one who I imagine, the Silencer, that ward bitch, LD. Congratulations, stand-in. Welcome to Team Malaysia. We'll see if it's going to be a tryout or not, but regardless, we are finally underway. Sorry for the delays to get started. It's the Summit 2 by G2A.com. It's going to be, it's going to be one of those kind of nights in early mornings, but...
All right, well, get the clown cast out of our system now.
Yeah.
Then we'll hopefully have a solid grand final.
Possibly a lot of Dota ahead of us. We have a best of 3 here between Team Malaysia going against First Departure. Winner will move on to the finals. A best of 5 between that winner and Invasion. I'll lead off with your introductions here on the side of the rating. It's Team Malaysia here. KYXY is going to be playing your Brewmaster up in the top lane. Net on your support Witch Doctor already scouting out its bounty rune. That's going to be grabbed up from the opponents right there. Bottom, Kenji, your stand-in, going to be playing that selfless support Silencer. And that's also going to leave, of course, none other than Mushi, going to be playing your mid Death Prophet, and that leaves none other than Mr. Ohio playing your Tidehunter.
Yeah, so KYXY back on that core role, and this guy could play a beastly Brewmaster, renowned for his micro skills in the Southeast Asian scene. But on the dire side, you've got Team First Departure. These guys took down Malaysia with ease the last time they faced off. Malaysia actually led in Game 2, but were not able to deliver, and On that note, in the offlane, we'll have Lubby on that Scarf Mage looking for a little setup here. Hana trying to bait them in as the Void mid. Miracle on the Wind Ranger. We'll talk about that in a second. Colosson going to be farming safely as your Necrophos, and that leaves Aluka as the Elder Titan support. So it is going to be an Elder Titan support, and core Wind Ranger for Miracle. Honestly, not a hero that you see too much of Miracle in competitive. Primarily more your hard farmers. The Naga, the Terrorblade. Heroes that can spread the map a little bit more effectively.
Micro-farming abilities, like just anything he can get his hands on. I've even seen him recently on his stream in a pub play take advantage of the new Phantom Lancer, and he was doing things I didn't even know were fathomable. The kid has a lot of raw talent, and he's been on many different teams, but we've seen him many different times put the team up on his back and bring it home here. And for a team that was initially not even on the Summit 2 list, make their way in after recent, fiascos, now finding their way all the way into the lower bracket finals is extremely impressive here for First Departure. It seems like since the big change of the patch coming in 6.82, they found some new strides, some new chemistry that seems to work out very nicely, and they're showing a lot of spunk.
Yeah, I think it's a great storyline, as you're mentioning. We actually didn't invite them initially to the online stage. We didn't have qualifiers for Southeast Asia, mostly just because scheduling was a bit of an issue, as Ohio will duke it out here with Aluka. But we had the match-fixing scandal, and the silver lining is that First Departure got their shot, and boy, they've made a great run out of it. Knocked Malaysia down to the lower bracket, did end up falling short against Invasion, but got a chance here to come to the LAN finals, and man, what a story that would be.
Yeah. We're the first team to really take down Team Malaysia, a team that made it all the way through the round robin without a single scratch on the record. 11-0 as they finished it, but the first match series into the playoffs, they 0-2 against First Departure, and now it's going to be a nice little rematch here. And I'm sure Team Malaysia, they want to look like that was a fluke. They're a strong team. They're looking to go all the way from this lower bracket right towards the house front door. So we'll see how they do here. It's your Death Prophet, 12-4 going against Miracles, 11-1 Wind Ranger, so relatively even start. Wind Ranger, if they did want to go with early movement, which I don't really expect a lot of, having a Silencer and having a Witch Doctor that are currently more busy just getting the Creequilibrium on the bottom lane. She's very elusive, and it's going to be hard to take down. So Miracle's not going to have too much trouble, I would imagine, in this mid lane.
Yeah, Miracle won't have trouble farming, but it's more the question of, is it going to be worth it for First Departure? Because end of the day, your Void's in the offlane sitting with OKCS for an offlane Void 7-1, but he's not going to be expected to carry this game on his own. They're prioritizing the Necrophos farm. Generally, when we see the Necrophos pick, it's either to counter a hero that really relies on buyback heavily, for example Spectre, or just to run a strong early game pushing lineup. And I don't really know if you'll be able to push into Malaysia if you let them get their levels, which for now Kenshi's hit level 3 net. He's the one who's suffering a bit, level 2 on that Witch Doctor. But yeah, if you try to push into this lineup, if they have Ravage, Bruce Blade, Global, that is very difficult. So
I agree that it's very difficult. They have big teamfight presence, great pushing prowess, and just able to kind of control the tempo of the game. I can't help but feel like, though, that if there's a way for First Departure to make it to the late game, they have just a stronger late game presence with your Necrophos being able to execute and take someone out of the fray. You got Wind Ranger. If she does manage to pull together some heavy hitting items with that ultimate, it could be pretty significant. And of course,
Hasted Elder Titan. Oh no, sorry, not Hasted Elder Titan. Hasted Lubby, along with Elder Titan, about to duke it out bottom.
They dance forward here, but it's just a little bit of flirting, no real commitment. But the sleep does catch him very nicely right by the tower here. And now your rotation is going to come on through. Kenji, the stand-in, trying to walk away from this one. He's the weakest target. Latch is going to be there, and a power shot follow through. Miracle gets your first blood, and they also take down the Faceless Void in exchange. Still trying to make their way out. KY, XY on the retreat, but Miracle using that wind run, able to catch up. Right click, right click, right click. Oh, the wand at the end, though, gives him that little bit of extra power shots there. One more right click secures it. Miracle takes home a double now. Can he get away from this one? Nice dash, but unfortunately not going to outrun.
What a play by Net there. Just body blocking the easy retreat path. And he hits level 4 off of that. So salvage is what looked like a total train wreck for Malaysia. They don't actually have a ward towards the bottom rune, unfortunately. And as a result of that, didn't see that haste turn pickup, nor did they see the potential rotation. But yeah, Net salvaging that one still in the end. First Departure managing to crack first blood on the back of that. They did leave Mushi alone to farm, so his CS continues unhindered, and it's a good timing for First Departure to do that. Very soon, Tidehunter will hit level 6. He's already 5. He's got almost the money for the Arcane Boot, so he should have mana for the rotation. And you won't be able to get away with that type of play until you've got your Chronosphere to work with for much longer. So good timing for them to do it. They do get the first blood, and yeah, all in all, they're the kind of lineup that needs to just find openings around the map. They're very good at single target pickoff with the Chronosphere Mystic Flare once they have it, Shackle Shot into like Necrophos ult, Stomp to set things up for Elder Titan, but there's going to be a point in the mid game where Malaysia really excel at team fighting. And I think, like you said, if this goes late game, then maybe First Departure come out on top there with a well-placed Chronosphere. Anything is possible. The Brewmaster, long-term can fall off, but that's looking very far ahead. For First Departure, it's this beefy mid-game that they have to be worried about.
Well, if there was a team that needed to hope to push it into the late game to pull it on back, First Departure would have to be one of the best candidates for that, on the back of a Miracle who typically does play Naga and has to pull it on out, even if the other four have just been bashed and beaten through the whole game up to that point. They know how to make that space for someone like Miracle to bring in the farm and just kind of take it home. But we'll see if they can get there. It's obviously Team Malaysia, the well-versed team. They're highly experienced.
I guess it's going to be a carry Wind Ranger. I'd be surprised if Miracle goes for too many utility items here. Necrophos is a great hero to build some of those. Elder Titan can pick up a Force Staff or maybe even a mech first team. And they've got the Void, who probably will just be set up as the offlaner. Later can transition to a carry role, but I wouldn't be surprised if we see something like the Aghanim Scepter, that early Maelstrom. I doubt we're going to see Miracle go for like hard utility type Wind Ranger. You know, your Force Staff, Mech, Blink Dagger. Maybe he gets one or two of those items, but I don't think we'll see him like 4 or 5 slots full of utility items.
No, definitely not. A lot like a Yule's as an addition. I'm banking that he would still go for something like a Force Staff. I think the mobility is just so crucial on someone like Wind Ranger, just to assist on getting that proper latch on a Shackle Shot. I mean, Wind Ranger, unfortunately, doesn't have the most reliable stun, but when she can get the opening with it, it becomes one of the most devastating in any sort of pick-off or team engagement. So.
And especially since Pelasson is building his mech. He's already got the headdress up. We haven't seen too much mech play from Necrophos pickers. Generally, Necrophos pickers, I make it sound like a disease, but yeah, generally they've been going more for we've seen 2 main builds, I think. The early Aghanim Scepter, or on occasion, the Rod of Atos. Those have been the 2 big early pickups. This is quite a different build. It used to be the go-to build for Necrophos.
Oh, big damage on your Faceless Void. He's forced to time walk out of there. The sleep is also going to be there, though, from Maluka to kind of create a little bit of space, but they have an objective in mind from Malaysia.
Ravage.
And they also have a Ravage Ohio looking to scout it out.
He was spotted, though. They paid him out immediately.
Dire's bottom
In the
tower
meantime,
has fallen.
looks like Kenshi snags an Invis Rune. Big thing for me from Malaysia is they're getting great levels on their supports. The Witch Doctor hits a quick level 5 because of that earlier body block, getting the kill on a Fed Miracle. And now Kenshi, level 5 on his Silencer. So they're going to have Global in a timely fashion. They already have the Witch Doctor ult. And this is a very scary time window as they go in mid lane on Miracle.
Yeah, Miracle gets maledicted up. He's eating big damage. I don't think he's going to be eating away from this one. The curse is going to be what? Oh, seals the deal.
Level 1 Maledict.
Oh,
I think he may live here.
He's bottling up very nicely and then pulls out the TP. He's going to live on. So unfortunately, just not enough levels, though he's got nice levels early. Only level 1 Maledict is not going to be enough to take the cake. So they had a bit extra harassment, though, on the top lane on the side of First Departure, taking down that tier 1 to half life. Touching base now, another thing to look out for, KYXY, he's getting pretty dang close to his Blink Dagger, about 250 out from it, and now you're going to see your Brew begin to get much more mobile. He's looking to set up some big split plays and just become the bouncer of the mid-game that you expect from most teams.
Yeah, devastating mid-game for Malaysia if they get off their ultimates, which is pretty likely to happen because Lubby doesn't have Mystic Flare, and without that, where's the burst for First Departure? Shackle into what? Power Shot? Elder Titan makes everything a bit scarier, but it's still only a level 1 natural order, so I think for First Departure, you really want to find these pickoffs around the map, spread the map, try and bait out ultimates, avoid big team fights. In the meantime, though, Malaysia are they're gearing up for the Death Ball. Witch Doctor with the Point Booster pickup, you mentioned the Blink Dagger. Tidehunter, no Ancient stacks yet, but will begin stacking these, so Ohio can work towards his own Blink, or maybe they even have him build the mech this game, because they already have the Brew to initiate, so not sure if they really need that instant Ravage early on, and, well, obviously, Mushi going to be farming quite a bit. He got the tower last hit bottom, so Yule Scepter coming soon, and yeah, for First Departure, just name of the game is pick off, spread the map, avoid big team fights for now.
Yeah, and the one drawback I'd have to say, though, for Team Malaysia is if you look at all of their heroes, all 5 of them, very ult dependent, just, you know, once those ults are off cooldown or they make the mistake, they blow one, they whiff it, that could be a devastating opening that someone like First Departure can really just capitalize on. They don't have as long of ult cooldowns, and they're not nearly as dependent about using them. So you know, if they don't execute properly on the side of Malaysia, things could also get very, very grim.
Yeah, they definitely have to get objectives out of these. They can't just like use an ult, get like a solitary kill on a Scarth Mage or something. But well, here we go. Malaysia smoking up from their tier 2. Very good place to TP just to ensure that first departure, no way they'd spot this one out. Chronosphere is at the ready. Void does have a TP, but again, it's Chronosphere into what? And they're going to go in now. Stomp from KYXY for some reason. Oh, he shot out the arcane or concussive shot just a split second early. Goes for the TP out. Cancels it. But now Malaysia are in position. They don't get that opening pick. They are leaving Kenshi mid. He has global ready, so he'll try to slow down Miracle split push, which he hasn't managed to skill focus fire yet. Sometimes you'll see the early value point nowadays, as it is much more affordable mono-wise. Only 75 mono at level 1. Don't think he gets a tower off of this, but he will at the least do good damage.
Yeah, and it was pretty apparent Malaysia were not going to be leaving unless this tower was going to be going. Just taking advantage of going for those kind of objectives. And first departure, they just kind of accept that they are going to be losing some tier 1s. They're probably going to lose some tier 2s along the way, but we're going for late game here. But possibly a jump could happen here from your Brew on the high ground. He's waiting to come in from the balcony. Jumps forward, instant primal split. Now putting his focus onto Necrophos. He stuns him out while he's going to try to Cyclone up. Miracle still pursuing. There's your cast coming through. Death Ward goes right to Skywrath, and he changes targets towards Necrophos. Silence follows up. Big Ravages right there. Finishes off your Necrophos. Now they turn back with the Chrono on the return. Locks down, and now they put it onto Net. Net very low, trying to get away from this one, and he will ultimately fall, but they also lose their Miracle Wind Ranger. Now, KYXY trying to finish off the Faceless Void. He's going to walk out from this one. Let me be as lucky, though. Nope, jump forward. There's your clap right on your head, and they also lose their Skywrath Mage. That's 3 down for 1, it looks like, in this battle for the mid lane tower.
Yeah, that's just not a fight first departure can take. KYXY didn't even clap. He just blink splits. The Necrophos kind of panic mechs. He had basically full health, just I guess wanted the bonus armor, but that was without the Death Prophet ult. She didn't even arrive at the fight until it was basically over. Kenshi global, but did I think used like 0 spells that engagement until it was essentially done, and they got a good Chrono. Chrono on 3 heroes. Decent shackle there for Miracle. Just doesn't matter. Nice play overall by your Brewmaster. KYXY with good micro, as you would expect. One of the probably the best Brew player in Southeast Asia, if not definitely one of the top 2 or 3. And he blinks over the Chrono. He gets off that clap on the Skywrath Mage and the Void and slows down his attack speed. Big thing there is they didn't have Mystic Flare. So you Chrono, and then there's just no follow-up at all. Just a good timing for Malaysia and a really weak timing for first departure.
There's definitely a lot more windows for Malaysia to really get a lot done in this game. The windows on the side of first departure are smaller and come out a little bit later. But if fights continue to roll like that, it's going to be Team Malaysia getting the most of it. Next thing you know, you have a refresher orb on your Tide Hunter, and there's really just a team fight you can't seem to get the best of. But they're persistent. They got to get a hold of at least one structure to lead it off, but they get it. But now they might pay the price. Miracle does get maledicted, 4-step forward, Death Ward. A little bit of trickling damage, but it's not going to be enough to really do any sort of significant work.
But they got the tower deny.
First departure, yeah, they walk away. The tower does go down, but they lose out a lot of gold for it.
It's like you said, Dakota, you know, when these ults are down, that's the opening for first departure. They, especially with their early mech on Colosseum, they really want to make something happen. And, well, sure, tower's denied, but it is map control, and it's more space for Miracle to move around. He's going to need to be their main split pusher this game. The Void can try, but that hero's just slow at split pushing. With no Maelstrom, no Mask of Madness complete even yet, although he's close to it. Yeah, it's good movement by first departure, and understanding that this is where Malaysia are relatively weak. But now the ults are back up. Global ready to go. The Witch Doctor ult's the one fairly low cooldown, so it'll be up for this next fight. Ravage online, Global Silence as mentioned already, and Exorcism, which they didn't even have in that earlier fight mid, so yeah, you pretty much have to sack your tower mid, I think, if you're first departure, and just try and take the tier 1 top and bottom. Like, if you try to fight into this 5-man lineup, you have to, I think you have to Chrono, Mystic Flare, the Brew, and then kill him before he can split, and even then I don't know if you take the fight. That's like your best possible opening, and they're actually not just taking the tower. They're backstabbing bottom lane.
Yeah, this is a nice smoke play. They jump right on top of Miracle. The silence is going to be there, though the 4-step still works. I don't think Miracle's going to be getting away from this one. Oh, huge damage to Crypt Swarm. The rock is what locks him in place. Faceless Void trying to get away, gets cycloned up before he can time walk anywhere. He might be locked in place. Very nice silence. Follow-up. It's a free Yules for this Death Prophet to get it all set up, and the cherry on top being that Death Ward. They also take down your core Faceless Void. First departure continue to struggle now as we get well into this mid-game period.
And with the deaths piling up now, 3 deaths for the Miracle Wind Ranger mid, 2 for the Void in the offlane. Who's going to deal the damage? Necrophos went for a mech. Yeah, they've got Elder Titan, and he's only got a level 1 natural order. He's level 5 at 15.5 minutes. Oof. Just ridiculously underleveled for the support Elder Titan.
Do you think it's not him being able to find the farmer getting picked off early, or is it just their team can be a bit too greedy and they're taking away from what's out there and he's stuck with table scraps as far as being able to farm up or get any sort of XP?
I think part of it is just that he's trying to come help his team because he sees Malaysia are deathballing towers, but I think this is where you honestly just say, screw the towers. We need an Elder Titan who's level 8 or 9 who has the max spirit or at least the max or some extra points in natural order, Earth Splitter. They need the damage that he brings to the table.
You gotta take a little bit of that me time, I like to say.
Yes, he needs to get a manicure or something, polish up those hooves. Then he can rejoin
Massage your way into a big, big ultimate that you have yet to really get a hold of yet.
But yeah, they just have no damage. And that's a problem because you're up against the Witch Doctor heal, Death Prophet who builds tanky, Tidehunter who generally is tanky and has Kraken Shell, and Brew who's going to be difficult to bring down. And remember that Chronosphere doesn't remove evasion, so they can kill one of these heroes, possibly with the Mystic Flare, especially if the Astral Spirit's there, but I just don't know if one's good enough at this stage of the game. Malaysia will come for tier 2 soon enough, and just got a split push. They didn't go greedy either. Generally, first departure of a time bomb, right? They've got a Miracle Naga who's about to complete the Radiance. They have a massive AoE team fight lineup like we saw with the Enigma Naga in their earlier match against Malaysia in this tournament, but there's no real time bomb here. Void, who does no Midas, doesn't even have Mass Commandus at 17 minutes, can carry if Malaysia feed him, but will not outfarm them on his own. And we're going to have a big double smoke.
Yeah, he's leading the smoke on this front. Oh, they're cutting the path right. Oh, the smoke's going to be popped there. They see each other jumping forward. Oh, it's going to be Team Malaysia trying to get the upper front. Global Silence is right there beautifully. Can they take down Void before he gets anything off in time, though? They do. He goes down. Now the rest of First Departure, they're stuck between a beautiful cask setup from your Witch Doctor. Poor little Necrophos hides himself into a corner, but that corner is going to be raided from a Death Ward. It's a slaughter. And First Departure, right by the secret shop of Team Malaysia, just bodies hit the floor. 3 down for nothing.
It's okay, Miracle got a tier 1 top. First Departure not out of this yet.
Oh, man.
Oh, my goodness. That's just dirty. They didn't even use the Exorcism. They still have it. Like, they have so many ults that they can just use, like, 2 or 3.
Exactly.
And just the fight's over.
They'll always have 2 or 3 ults for a fight at any given moment.
I gotta say that Kenshi has been really good on his global timings, and the Witch Doctor ults. He's gotten off full duration ults almost every time because of those globals.
Yep.
Look for a Chrono here, but Mushi is potentially going to Yule's dodge it. Very risky to go for that.
Silence is there. Jump forward, clap, and your faceless Void, who you're kind of hoping it can be one of your dark horses for First Departure, goes down so dang quick you thought it was an illusion. Reaper Cyclone return. They can't take him down quick enough to have him the extra 30-second penalty, but they still take him down. A small reward there for First Departure, but they have still had so many losses along the way. Miracle, though, persistent. He wants more. He presses on forward, but can't quite catch up. Steps back, and it's going to be Team Malaysia just kind of dancing with them in the mid lane, but it's that team that's going to be dancing towards the victory here for game number 1 if this keeps up. It's 11-4 now. Taking our first look at the net worth, it's Mushi all day at 9.3K. As far as team net worth, Malaysia 6K plus and rising.
That was with Malaysia playing a little cocky, right? They used 4 ults. They had Exorcism, sure, and they're like, all right, let's just go take the tower mid. Tier 2 does drop quite low. There was still a glyph ready, which they held, but they could have slow rolled that. They could have just seized the tower, set a little bit farther back. The Witch Doctor wasn't even with them. That was off top lane, Farmer Zags. They didn't even have to make that kind of commitment. When Malaysia are even giving up kills, it's largely just mistakes by them. That's why I really worry for First Departure, because you just can't count on those. But they are looking for a go bottom lane. They've got Chrono ready.
Silence as well, and they put it to use right there. It is still able to be getting force-staffed out. Miracle, though, going to be caught with your Cyclone. They already take on Necrophos. They're looking to swarm your Wind Ranger. Can't really get anywhere. Desperation TP immediately blocked out from the rock, and now Miracle just trying to go on the run. They already are moving on to other targets. They see their Skywrath Mage going to be there. Your Ravage, is it going to be pulled out? Not yet. Still on reserve. Miracle goes down. Another Force Staff, only going to put them towards a new spot for his Tombstone, but it's still Malaysia, man.
These Kenshi Globals, they're perfect. They're setting up to go in bottom lane. They've got Chronosphere ready, the Mystic Flare ready, and he just Globals, and the Brew gets the jump. So much for Kenshi being a manager, man. Maybe this guy should transition to some competitive play. He's beasting here for Malaysia. Granted, it's easy when you have these big beefy initiators, and you probably got Mushi saying global now, but nonetheless, great silencer play and
just great fluidity from the team. They're just moving as a group. They just swarm on in when it's the right time to go, and they're not, you know, I was curious to see how much use they would put in these ultimates, if they're just going to blow them all out there. Are they going to expend them for one little support pick-off? It seems like they put them into prime use every time along the way, and they've reserved ones that don't deem necessary. And it's not like I've seen a moment where, oh, they could have got that kill if they actually committed the exorcism. No, they know exactly what they need to do, but First Departure looking to fight right back. They get a hold of net here, and, well, they will use a Chronosphere to take down one
tanky,
support.
Dude,
but
that cast, they can't even Mystic Flare during the Chrono.
There it is on the back end side, the heal coming out. Net could still live, and he will. Now the silence comes out. Nice Earth Splitter, but unfortunately now they get the back end of a Ravage set up beautifully from Ohio. They finish out and clear out your Faceless Void. The ward goes down, and even when you think they got the upper hand on a sweet little pickup on net, he even is keeping you guessing as far as
he's basically got his axe now. Dakota, he's got 900 gold. He'll have it during this push. That's a 21-minute Aghanim Scepter on the Witch Doctor, who was not even getting the priority for levels early. That was Kenshi, but carry net. He got a cast off on, and it was the perfect cast. It didn't actually hit the Void at all. It just kept him bouncing between the Scarth and the Elder Titan, so they Chronos, couldn't Mystic Flare. He lived. He actually got hit by the Earth Splitter, brought down like 100 health, and just ran back in while taking all that damage, completely unafraid. Malaysia just in full control of this game. And there's no time bomb, man. I don't know. First Departure feel a lot less scary when they don't have one. Maybe wondering if they should have banned out the Naga themselves in that first phase.
So just going on that thought then, I was going to ask you, do you think its First Departure didn't throw together as good of a lineup as you were expecting, maybe getting a little over arrogant? They get the first ban Naga, and they're like, we'll go ahead and roll with this Wind Ranger. Do you think it was just a bad draft, or do you think Malaysia are just looking that good that they just might be outclassing First Departure?
I think it's a... I mean, hold that thought. Miracle caught out here.
Gosh, trying to get away again. The Force Staff now even pulling out the BKB defensively to get away with this one, and that's his fresh, shiny new BKB already having its first use, and it's with him trying to just get out.
But yeah, I guess it's a combination of factors. Like, for one thing, when you run a Wind Ranger, honestly, the hero just has to severely outplay your opponents in most games, because otherwise she doesn't have that much damage. Her lockdown's decent, but if you really want teamfight control, there's better heroes than Wind Ranger. She split pushes okay, but certainly not on the level of a Naga, a Terrorblade, or any one of Miracle's many other signature Rat Dota-style heroes, and she doesn't scale that hard into the late game. They have a Void, who's a great setup hero for her, but I feel like they didn't get enough out of the lanes, and I'm not sure if their draft allowed them to do so. The big playmaker could have been the Scarth Mage, but it's just so different. Like, Silencer was just such a great pick this game. You Chrono, even if you get the Chrono off first, he just globals, and your chain of initiation's over. You can't get the Mystic Flare off. There's no opportunity to counter-initiate, and they also just drafted heroes that are difficult to burst during Chrono. 3 tanks. The Death Prophet, who now is a BKB and Yules, who's going to get farm in that matchup. Wind Ranger versus Death Prophet. It's not like it's an easy win for a Wind Ranger, so I don't really like Wind Ranger picks in general. I think the hero's just extremely situational, and generally there's a better option, but I think more than anything, it's just First Departure not getting to play their style of Dota.
And it looks like Team Malaysia is scouting out the Roche area, looking probably to do a nice warding sesh here to make sure they got proper map control and vision. If they wanted to go for it, I mean, Exorcism is up in about 5 seconds time. But just to talk more on that, I'm sure First Departure are wishing they had a Silencer on their team for this kind of engagement. In Malaysia, man,
Silencer would have been so good for them.
So it's almost like just a sweet grab, and now you wonder First Departure just kind of like hitting their foreheads like, gosh, we should have had that hero. It just would have ruined so much on a team that have so many big powerhouse team ultimates already. They don't even have to expend all of them in one go to kind of just have their way in these skirmishes. So we'll see, though, as it's going to be Mr. KYXY just kind of dancing around this mid lane. He's got a Vlad jump forward, clap going to be there. And there's the cast follow-up, just kind of second-guessing their commitment. It's going to be Mushi, though, who flies on through BKB, Exorcism out and at the ready, but he's eating a lot of damage here. Now he has to go, but he's so quick, and he will have a Yules on the back-end side. Net's going to be there to meet him and give him a little bit extra nourishment, I would imagine, with that heal. But First Departure now, possibly on the run. KYXY in pursuit. Bears are out, but
not a very effective fight for Malaysia. They may just want to sack this engagement. They still have that Witch Doctor ult, though.
Oh, they have a hold of here. Oh, the Maldic going to be out to mark. That Force Staff saves him. He jumps up to the high ground, very low on life. But
he's coming back in.
Really? Almost walked into a Crypt Swarm. That would have been a death for sure.
He's dead anyway.
No, I think he's fine now. It just ended. He's
Yeah,
good.
That heal saved him.
Woo, makes
Good
it all the way
plays.
back. He almost walked head first into a Crypt Swarm that could just casually caught him on the lack of nose, but
Those cojones from Hana.
yeah.
That was like that's I would call that basically a terrible fight for Malaysia.
Which we
They
haven't seen
global,
yet this game.
they exorcism, they brew split, they get 0 kills. First departure didn't even chrono. The tower still drops mid. They invest absolutely nothing in that fight. Like or they lose absolutely nothing, I should say. That's how good their team fight is, man. And the thing is, like, first departure could be punishing this so hard if they had a classic miracle hero, but
Yep.
they don't. What's Wind Ranger gonna do? Slowly power shot creep waves, force staff herself forward? Like, she. The other thing is that Miracle hasn't gone for that ratty build. Like, you could go for maybe the Necro Book this game, the Maelstrom, Blink Dagger, just as a slightly more aggressive split pushing item, but I think it's like 90% hero, maybe 10% item choices. If Malaysia execute that fight well, first departure are going to lose the tier 3 and possibly Lane of Rex.
They don't even have much of a team to really do Roche quickly. This could have been one of those small opportunities to move into the Roche pit and kind of get something going because some ults were expended there. But you still have your Ravage at the ready. You still also have the Death Ward at the ready. And that could still also be enough to put up a big counter into a possible Roche engagement. But this is just first departure looking to farm, but they actually catch up Blossom in the jungle. He's trying to TP out. Oh! Must have been almost the last second getaway. Mushy, unfortunately.
Doing work for Mushi.
Blueberries for breakfast. And he's able to just take it home with some right-click additional damage. And first departure, can we just get this tier 1 tower bottom lane is what they're hoping for. Just a little bit of gold. Please, I want some more.
Top tower
I would love to see stats on how often first departure is still in a game at 27 minutes, and they don't have all the 3 tier 1s. I mean, let alone the tier 2s. I I would say it's extremely rare for them. Like, sure, they often fall behind early and start off slow, but they normally make it up by this point, and it's, again, just a testament to their draft.
Here we go. Team Malaysia, considering they're knocking at the top tier 3 tower here, they pull out the exorcism, jumping forward. Oh no! Oh, not even on Mushi, and he even Yules. That chrono hits no one whatsoever. Mushi pops out his BKB, so does Miracle, trying to bring him home in a right-click contest. Now faces Void without it. Oh, jump forward Ravage is not going to find a target. They have well spread on this. Oh, KYXY tries to finish off Void, who makes the jump out, now goes into Primal Split. Their tier 3, though, is still taking full punishment from this exorcism, and it does go down. Now they put their sights onto the range. Rex can first departure even get close enough for any sort of defense. Necrophos waltzing forward. He's getting a Cyclone. He's getting a rock to the noggin. Oh, jump forward. Ohio fakes out once with the
They
Ravage.
cannot let Neck get off his ultimate. They're going to get wrecked if they do.
Oh, big Reaper Scythe on Mushi, but they can't get enough to get him down. There's your ult. It comes out, but they finally stop it with the Earth Splitter. Net very low, has to walk into a corner. He is taken down from your Necrophos. Finally, we see our first casualty of this engagement, but
They didn't even Ravage there. That's
he really
casual
held on.
net zoning ultimate.
Just 2 different times he jumps in like, ah.
Yeah,
No.
keeps on like waving that little
Nope.
stick around, and finally lets the voodoo magic fly. That's what First Departure were afraid of. They were really worried about the Ravage into the Witch Doctor ult. In good news, they've got these BKBs, Miracle, and the Necrophos one was used there, so because of that, they couldn't really blow a Ravage. Would have potentially just been a wasted one, but they still take down the tier 3 on the range racks. And what a First Departure
Whoops,
gets? Can they take a
Miracle.
Roche? They need damage so badly, and
Well, Miracle's going right for MKB to be able to address the
Yeah.
evasion on Brewmaster, so he can at least have
And the
some
Drunken
reliable,
Haze,
like,
yeah.
of course. So he tries to force himself, I think, over into the Roche pit, but he actually puts himself on the high ground here and helps do the Ancients. I guess he's lucky enough to do that, but now they're trying to ward. It looks like they're trying to do a behind-the-back play here, sneak into the tiny apartment complex here that is the Roche lair, and he's not going to be engaged. Just very timid play coming out from both sides. Malaysia still have a couple ults to work with. Your Primal Split back up at the ready in about 15 seconds. 10 seconds for your Global. Exorcism, 18 seconds. Pretty much all fairly the same time. Your Ravager was never even used. And Death Ward already up. So Malaysia are always ready for a fight.
if they want to be safe here, they could just try to get the lanes pushed in and potentially go for a Roche. It's a little risky against Void, but you've got Global. If you have lane wards up, you'll know a First Departure are missing, because creeps are at the base. If they smoke, you'll instantly have eyes on that, and they are going to go for the Roche now. Overall, didn't lose too much top lane, just the Witch Doctor, so I think this is smart from them. You've got one lane of Rax, then with this Aegis, you should be able to complete that lane of Rax, get the melee, and You just have to wait for exorcism to cool down now to go high ground.
Roshan
It's a
has
safe
fallen
route.
to the
It's
Radiant.
the best route to go for here.
But for first departure, what do? You need your mad scientist miracle right now. Like, he needs gold.
Yeah.
If he had more
scrapping for
gold, I
farm.
feel like he could have solutions here. Like, say he has an MKB, an Aghanim Scepter, or some sort of other damage item for the Wind Ranger. Perhaps he can carry this, but I don't know. It's just it's on the Void to get perfect chronos, and then they've got to kill during that. But unless you catch the silencer, it's never going to happen. And honestly, Kenshi could sit at Fountain. He's got the Ags now as well, so he could just sit at Fountain, press R, and that's all they really need out of him. Blossom caught out here in the jungle. We'll force the BKB TP again. Jeez, those BKB charges really wearing down. That's now a 7-second BKB.
Yeah, and the more time they do give First Departure is just more hope for them, but Malaysia are just nursing a bit. They know they have a little bit of time to work with to kind of get their next items online and at the ready before they have to feel more pressure to put to use that Aegis and go for a big hurrah kind of a push, which they could just as easily finish off what they started here in the top lane. Only the melee Rex to stand on this one, then they can really start leading the charge as far as putting the lid on this game. And, well, with a best of 3 on the line, winner moving on to the grand finals, all these games really do matter. And First Departure, they know that they don't want to start off with a loss. And they're going to have to try to keep the momentum up and keep it together, the morale, and go on to game number 2. But we'll see if Team Malaysia can try to hold this lead and take it to the end.
They're going high ground without exorcism. They're like, screw it, man. We're too strong. Mushi has Aegis. By the time that Aegis is popped, he'll have his exorcism for life number 2. It's total YOLO play for Mushi. He also almost has a heart. Honestly, I think they should wait for that. But, whatever. They're just going to try and force it now.
Forward the flap, KYXY, it's going to be forced out though. The Necrophos even pops his
Radiant's
BKB to get away from
bottom
this
tower
one,
is
does
under
avoid the
attack.
silence there, but now they begin to do a little bit of damage here on your melee set of racks, so First Departure, they need to do something about this.
Look at the
Dire
silencer's
structures are
position. It's
fortified.
literally like
Radiant's
2,000 units
bottom
away.
tower is under attack.
I got it from here, guys. I can see it with my binoculars. I'll be ready with the R button at a moment's notice, but your BKB can be
Dire's
popped
top
now on
barracks
Mushi. He
has
steps
fallen.
back and away. So
Radiant's
dang quick
bottom
on
tower
your
is
race
under
card
attack.
Death Prophet to just waltz right on out of there. So maybe they will wait out for that heart, and they were just trying to slow siege and finish off the racks, and they get it without committing a whole lot for it.
Yeah, hey, if First Departure aren't going to fight when you do that, then I guess that is the right play. And this is Trouble Town. Net's now got his blink. I feel like First Departure have to do something drastic here. Go for a really YOLO smoke. Hope to catch out anyone and at least force out a global. Just do not let Malaysia get to your high ground with all 5 ults. Because if they do, it's a second lane of Rex and probably GG.
So there's your
They
heart.
they don't even have the first damage item though. Still no MKB or Miracle, and it just doesn't feel like it's going to be a game-changing item. But
Yeah.
I honestly
He's
think they
bubble
just
back.
have to try something desperate. 2 minutes and counting. Maybe they've already missed their window though. Malaysia already grouping up as 5 bottom. If they get to this high ground with the death ball, it will be death.
I was maybe thinking they could wait a little bit longer for refresher, but I don't think it would come in the period of time before this Aegis does expire, so I think they're just going to take advantage of it. They press down from the bottom lane, the opposite side now, trying to spread First Departure thin and pull them away from any sort of farm they're trying to grab in their jungle. In the meantime, already you can see Miracle, he's going to go ahead and pull the retreat out, head right back for defense reaction. He pop jump forward, immediate split. They're trying to go into Krophos. Your Chrono does catch Mushi this time, but they got to take him down twice. Your zoning Death Ward, however, pushes him back. Still no Ravage. He's still holding that bad boy. Wants to find the best Ravage possible. So they move on forward a little easily down. There's your Ravage. It catches on 3 and helps take down that Elder. They put take down 1, take down 2. The bodies hit the floor once more, and First Departure. This looks like it's going to be the beginning of the end here.
Jeez.
Game number 1, Team Malaysia.
What a beatdown.
Unstoppable force.
I'm going to say like 70% outdraft, 30% outplay. Kenshi played really well in the silencer.
Dire's bottom barracks
First
are under
Departure did not get much out of the
Radiant's
lanes, but
victory.
Lineup's not really designed to dominate the laning stage. Off-lane Void, fairly passive support here on the Elder Titan. He couldn't really do much. Their big saving grace was that Chronosphere Mystic Flare, but how many Chronosphere Mystic Flares did we see this game? I don't think we even saw one.
They almost had to use them more defensively at times just because of
That
the...
yeah, and that doesn't work against
No,
this team.
certainly not. They were just praying for that just maybe we'll get 20 minutes of free farm and Team Malaysia just won't care. And they just won't do objectives. And then we can get those dream items on our Wind Ranger and she's just like Chrono and ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba, but that's not going to be happening.
Yeah, I I mean, to be honest, we were only like half watching the draft with all the technical issues, but I did not like the Naga first face ban by first departure. I think if Malaysia want to go for their Riki Huskar shenanigans, then you at least leave that hero in the pool as an option. Like, how good would Son of the Siren be in this game? Sure, they have global, but if Miracle plays it correctly, he's not going to be with his team, and every time that Malaysia try to go for that 5-man death ball, you're ratting with the Naga, you're cutting the creep wave behind them. I gotta say, I don't know what... I'd love to know what Miracle's plan was with the draft, because I didn't see it.
We'll see. Maybe they're just going to chalk it up to a warm-up for now and try to strike back hard in game number 2. This is a best-of-3 series here. It's the finals of the lower bracket. The winning team is going to move on to play Invasion in the grand finals of these playoffs.
Are we not quite at the losers bracket?
I'm trying to be
Everybody's
nice,
a winner
LD.
today.
No one's a loser.
Not
in our
everybody's
world.
a winner.
Yeah.
These teams lost to get here.
Winners stay off drugs and stay in school. So at least as long as you're going by those rules, you're a hero in my book. And
Fair
that's
enough.
what I learned from Hulk Hogan, so it's got to be true.
Okay.
All right. We'll be back in just a moment. If you like what you heard, of course, catch us on our Twitters. Myself, I'm Coddle Guy, and catch LD at LD Dota. We're going to go to a very small break and hop right back into game number 2 of Team Malaysia going against First Departure. Be back in just a hot second.